Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. So happy Friday. And today we are going to talk about systems and routines. I'm very excited to talk about this, but before I do, I will just call out the elephant in the room. I got my eyebrows done today, so I'm not angry. I just got them, you know, done. So they're going to look like this for a day or two. And I've put on jazzy earrings, hoping to draw attention away from how dark they are. But it's funny, I came home today and my daughter looked at me and kind of was sad. She's like, "You look so angry. I don't like it." And I was like, oh, children, right? That's why we love them. So, enough about that. Um, yeah, I want to talk about habits and routines because so systems and routines are key to making life easier. If you checked out today's podcast episode with Jen Uren, she talks about systems and routines, and she is all about how that can make your life easier. So I wanted to pop in here and just elaborate on it a little bit. So our minds like to know what's coming, right? Our subconscious likes to know what to expect, and a lot of the stuff we do is actually done on autopilot. So, in order to make life easier, it can be very helpful to create systems, so ways of doing things, and routines, repetitive ways of doing things, right? So, it can feel hard because I know life can feel chaotic. But if we can implement even just 2 or 3 routines or systems in our day, then we can actually really simplify how we spend our time. Because when we switch tasks or when we have to, decide things and figure things out as they come up, not only can we feel overwhelmed and stressed, but it can also lead to decision fatigue, right? Because decision fatigue is when you have to make too many decisions and your brain just kind of goes, okay, I'm done. I'm out of energy and, doesn't want to make decisions anymore. And that's why sometimes at night, I know for myself, when someone's like, oh, what do you want to do for dinner? I'm like, I can't decide anymore. I can't. So to make life easier and to conserve energy, it can make a lot of sense to either systematize um, things that occur every day, which can then become routines. So routines are really just systems that we've made into habits that now run on autopilot that we don't have to think about anymore. Okay. And it's kind of funny because I'm always like, oh, my morning routine, my morning routine. And I was like, it kind of just happens. Like there's a very specific way I go about my morning. It's the same every morning. And it is just a habit that has become a routine because it works for me. So when it comes to, how, thanks, Janet. I agree. I absolutely agree. When it comes to, what can we either systematize or make a habit out of in our life? There's a few things. As mompreneurs, we have our business and we have mom life, right? And creating systems or routines in both can really help us. So, for example, I'm going to address a couple that I know can be big points of contention in our lives. I'm going to start with the mom side. Morning routine, getting the kids up, ready for school, getting everybody up, fed, dressed, cleaned, or at least sort of cleaned, masking smells, whatever it is we do, can be chaotic, right? Because everybody's got to be somewhere. Kids don't get up sometimes. I don't up sometimes. It can create chaos. But when you have a routine, something you do the same every morning, your kids know what to expect. And you know what? If your kids are under the age of 10, habit or routine makes them comfortable. It keeps their sympathetic nervous system calm because they aren't afraid of what might come next. They already know what's coming next, right? So for my kids, we get them up, they kind of hang out on the couch while I get stuff ready, and then they have their smoothie. They have the same smoothie every morning, Monday through Sunday. I don't try to Martha mornings. I am not trying to make Pinterest worthy breakfast. I'm trying to make sure my children will consume what I feed them, first of all. And second of all, that they are getting the nutrients they need to start their day. So I give them the same smoothie every morning. And then they go, they brush their teeth, they get dressed. I do my thing. The other thing for the mom life side of things is lunches, right? Oftentimes we feel like we have to pack these Pinterest worthy lunches. Like we're scanning and looking at these beautiful works of art that are in bento boxes. And we're like, oh, if I was a good mom, I would pack a lunch like that. Science shows that kids don't actually want that. What they want is to know what's going to be in the lunchbox when they open it. So you can save yourself a lot of headache and a lot of time if you sit down with your kids and say, hey, what do you want to eat for lunch every day when they're going to school or when they're going to camp? And they'll tell you what they like, and then pack that every day. I pack the same lunch for my children every day, whether they are at camp, at school, wherever. And you know what? They keep eating it until they don't like something anymore, which kids do. And then I notice it's coming home and I'm like, hey, you don't like this anymore? And they're like, yeah, not really. I'm like, okay, let's pick a substitute. And then we do that. And it saves so much time because not only am I not worrying the night before about what am I going to pack, I know they're going to eat what they get. They know what they're going to get. So they're, again, calm going into lunchtime. There's no surprise. And my grocery shopping is easy because I literally buy the things I'm putting in and not multiple things, right? I'm not buying sandwiches for one day and, pasta for another and whatever, keeping it simple. And dinner, we have a 7-day rotation that we do with dinner, right? The kids know what day it is based on what's for dinner, right? Oh, is it salmon night? Oh, is it pizza night? Oh, is it this? And they kind of know what that means. Because when they were little, I tried to give them new things every night and they wouldn't eat it. Why? Because they were surprised. They didn't know if they liked it. They didn't know what to expect. And when you create a weekly routine for dinner, what they're going to get every night, it makes it so much easier to sneak in other things to expose them to new things because it looks pretty much the same. It just maybe has a parsnip on the plate. And they'll try one parsnip and maybe they like it, maybe they don't. But it helps. It also makes grocery shopping easier. Whether you're using Instacart or going to the actual grocery store, when you don't have to make big decisions, it makes life easier. Okay. That is my momming and food routines that actually make my life great. Now let's talk about business routines, right? What systems can we put in place? Really simple ones that can help us when we're growing our business. Some that I like to use, one is I theme my days, right? So on certain days, I deal with accounting and finance issues. On certain days, I deal with content creation. On certain days, I deal with client meetings and, podcast recordings and TV show recordings. And by theming my days, when I have to schedule something with someone, I know what day I'm looking at because I can figure out what it fits into. If I have to answer questions for people, I can tell them what day I will have the answer for them. And it allows me to set boundaries around how I'm spending my time because no, I cannot, meet with you on Wednesday. Wednesday is not a day I meet with people, or not a day I meet with people about that. Or, hey, you want to know when the invoice is going to be paid for that? It'll be paid on Friday because Friday is when I pay my invoices. And it allows you to, what it helps do is it helps get rid of unfinished or open loops in your brain, right? Because you know when you're going to deal with something, so your brain doesn't have to remind you about it. So if you deal with your finances every Friday, you don't need to think about them Monday through Thursday. And then it also allows you to, plan and schedule with people and not end up double booked or overbooked or any of that stuff. Because when someone says, hey, can we do X, Y, and Z, you know what day you're looking at, right? So I theme my days throughout the week. I also have schedules for when I'm on social media, right? So I say, okay, well, every morning for X amount of time, I am going to respond to posts, reply to people, post things, engage, do all that stuff for this set amount of time. And then I'm not doing it until this time, right? And so I don't need to constantly check to see if there's something I should do because I'm not doing it during that time. The other is, yeah, it's good. I love having boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. The other is checking email, right? If you set up parameters around when you check your email, you can communicate that with people. And then they don't expect immediate responses, right? One of the things is with how technology has progressed, we're so used to instant gratification and getting immediate responses from people that when we don't, people either hound us or they think there's something wrong. So if we communicate with them, hey, I check my email 3 times a day. I check it when I get into the office, I check it at noon, and I check it at 4:35 before I finish up for the day. If you email me some other time, I will get back to you at that time. Now we're managing expectations so people know when to expect to hear from us, and we don't feel compelled to do different things. Okay, we don't feel like we have to check our email when we're in the middle of creating content or the middle of coaching a client or the middle of creating, the masterpiece that it is we sell, because that's not when we do it. And the other great thing about systems and routine that I like is a flow to my day. Okay, so I look at when my energy is highest, when it's lowest, and I schedule things around that. And then there's a flow to my day, right? So chances are I am not making life-changing decisions between 3 and 4 because I am not energized between 3 and 4. I'm tired. I've made a lot of decisions by then, so my brain's starting to run out of energy. And, I just don't produce my best work at that time. So I don't do it. I make my big decisions in the morning when I'm awake, aware, ready to go, motivated. I've got the energy. I have the, mental capacity to handle big decisions, so I'm not overwhelmed by them. And then they're made. I don't need to worry about them for the rest of the day. I can go about my business. So creating daily routines around when and how you do things can really make things seem so much easier, right? You're getting the same amount of work done. You really are. It's just because you're not thinking about the other stuff because it's scheduled and you know when it's going to happen, your brain is able to just focus on the one thing. And when we can make things very simple for our brains make life simple for us. So I have a ton of systems. So I have ADHD. So for me, a lot of times getting things done, it has to be routine because sometimes I forget, or I can kind of go sideways. I will see a shiny object and sometimes that will catch my attention for too long. So my morning routine is the same every morning. I get up, I exercise, I meditate, I journal, I get my family up, I make everybody smoothies, I make everybody coffees, I get everybody off to go get dressed. That's just how it works every morning, even on weekends. My evenings are the same, right? So my kids have bedtime routine and then I have a routine that follows it. My podcast and TV shows are routine, right? Like you hear my intro and the way I kind of go through it and what I say at the end. If you listen or watch enough of them, you will see a very clear routine there. There's a lot of routine in my life, but honestly, it helps me feel more in control of the things that I have the power to control, which are my actions and my responses, right? And when I'm not worried about what comes next, I can, in fact, respond instead of react. And it just creates breathing room. So, I like looking at my calendar and seeing that everything's scheduled because I know what's coming next and I don't need to worry about it. That doesn't mean that life's not fun, that it's boring. It means that I have the capacity for fun because I'm not maxed out from making trivial decisions. I used to wear black every day, all black all the time. when we were growing the food manufacturing business, because when I got up in the morning, I did not want to have to worry about what I had to wear that day. So I would get up and I would put on a black shirt and black pants, and they'd be different, but they were black, and it made my life very easy. My hair would go up in a ponytail and I would go to work, and that was it. It made life simple for me. I'm trying to think. I have a ton of funny routines, like the way I go to bed. I read my book for this many minutes, right? I turn one light on. I turn on my diffuser. I turn one light off. I get into bed. I plug in my cell phone. I read my book for X number of minutes. I put my book down. I put on my headphones. I listen to a sleep meditation or, rapid transformational therapy message, or, binaural beats or something while I fall asleep. And I do the same thing every night. So, and my body's used to it. It signals to my body that it's time to go to sleep. So I actually find myself getting more tired as I do it, even if I wasn't tired going into it. And so systems and routines not only help our brain be calm, but they also they create tells to our body that says, this is what we're doing now. So we're ready, which can help switch when you need to switch energy for certain things. Having those prompts helps. But yeah, I'd love to hear more about your systems and routines. I am always looking for new ones to implement that can, improve things, speed things up, slow things down, make things more enjoyable. And I'm sure there are other mompreneurs on here that could benefit from seeing your systems and routines. So feel free, post them in a comment, send them as a post for the main feed. Let me know. I'd love to hear yours. And before I go here, I just want to mention we still have a couple slots left for Mom Magic. Sorry, my kids are here. And I am looking for 3 more authors to join us. I think this is a great opportunity to really showcase the magic that is moms, especially mom entrepreneurs. I mean, not only do we keep the next generation of the world alive and teach them good values, but we build businesses at the same time. That says superhero to me. But so if you're interested, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to talk to you about it. But now I'm going to let you go and enjoy your weekend. So remember, the woman when you look in the mirror is exactly what a successful entrepreneur looks like. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you all again soon.